Hello everyone! Today is the introduction to the DanVanDam and Friends Livecast. First, an introductory cousin here is CousinNiceguy. He... Hello Retro. So today we're going to be talking mostly about his career here on Twitch, as well as his general hobby that relates to Twitch. So, what really started you streaming?
Honestly, it was just a love for Twitch. I had found well, honestly, I guess I was on YouTube for a little while beforehand, and then didn't quite feel the energy that I felt when I came to Twitch, and just watching and being a part of people's chats. I guess it wasn't quite enough for me. I wanted to be a bigger part of it, or in any way that I could, really, and it just seemed like a natural step to just start streaming. So yeah, it was just wanted to be a bigger part of everything.
Yeah, to see the the big picture, you looked at it and you're like, I could do that easily.
Yeah.
Because it was like you saw a community that you saw a mixture between gaming and you saw a mixture between paints and the work thereof, and you saw that, hey, this guy Grendler, what's this guy do? And so, is that where you got really in, like it really lit the fuse, or was it just a normal, hey, I want to just simply start up some?
Yeah, no, it was like I had started with gaming and was having fun with it, but I was just kind of messing around. I had the attitude of let's just get on there. If I even have anybody at all hanging out with me, that would be cool. And I had a few people hanging out, but I guess I didn't really get serious about my stream until I discovered like the creative side of it, and then yeah, I was like, oh, I want to do something on creative, but I don't know what, so I just started watching creative streams, and that's how I just came across Grendler's stream. And I wanted to do some airbrushing. I was already an airbrush artist, but I'd never painted a miniature before, so yeah, I was very inspired by Grendler's stream, and next thing I knew, I was painting miniatures, and it's been over a year now since I've been painting them.
But with paints in particular, which ones do you use, by the way, for all those cousins or artistes out there who wish to, they want to get into painting? Which one would you recommend to them, or which ones do you generally use and you think they'd be a good entryway for anyone who's starting up miniatures or even canvas art?
When it comes to like the illustration work, I can't really recommend the Createx line enough. The Drew Blair, the illustration colors that he has with the Createx company, yeah, they are the best in my opinion. But when it comes to miniatures or Gundam kits or anything like that, I use a mixture of Citadel and Vallejo paints. But I do, if you are starting out with this, I would suggest buying a small kit of paint rather than sort of just buying one at a time, because you can get by with, like, for example, Vallejo's model color line. I have the medieval set. I don't know what it was, maybe 16 paints came with it for a pretty good price, and that will really do you for quite some time. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on paints necessarily, but yeah, those are the main brands I stick with.
Yeah, it's like it seems like the quality definitely speaks for itself, though, especially with the airbrushing. Like, especially with that skull, holy crap. Like, every time I stare at it, I keep on thinking you using a real skull as a reference. I look at it again, I'm like, no, that's what he actually did.
Yes. Yeah, and And also the airbrush too. The custom micron that I use for that is almost essential in order to achieve that fine of detail.
Yeah, 'cause it's like I was watching you from start to finish. Like the detail, the intricate detail behind that was astounding. And I look on Twitch, I rarely see anyone do exactly what you're doing at the moment with that. I mean, if I do see it, it was like freaking out of the blue. It's like, where the hell, what? And, you know, it's like, to me, it's like a fresh thing on Twitch because I don't think anyone else is really doing it too much. At least I haven't noticed.
Yes, yeah, I haven't seen anyone else do photorealism with an airbrush on Twitch myself. I would love to see someone else do it, of course, but yeah, it's something I want to do more and more with my stream. One of the things about photorealism with an airbrush is that the paper that you have to use for it is a special paper. So, and it's can only be kind of acquired from Drew Blair's art school. So, uh, it's like once you buy some of that paper, it's almost like it's gold, and you don't want to use it until you're absolutely sure what you want to do with it. But yeah, you know, I need to start kind of loosening up on that a little bit, and just doing more, you know, at least once a week, doing some photorealism.
Yeah, because I think I've seen some paper similar to it at a local craft store. I mean, granted, it's not as premium, but it was just like I seen some of the prices. It was like, what is it? Like $34 a sheet, even just for a commercial store. I was like, holy shit! It was just a piece of paper, a single piece of paper was $35.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, yeah, yeah. That's, once you commit, yeah, it's like, oh, there goes, yeah, $30. If it doesn't turn out, then there's $30 down the drain. So yeah.
Yep, you might as well just use it as a seat cover for the car, you know, and just it's durable enough, yeah. But yeah, it's like I sit there and I was like, I was curious. I was like, okay, how does this set someone up for the price here? So I go and look at the store at Michael's, and I was like, these people are nuts. I mean, I can respect the paper that they're using, though, because you look at it, it's like that looks like it will survive a rainstorm. And at the same time, it just makes you nervous, as you're saying. It's like I look at like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Make me nervous. Yeah. But it seems like you're very, very, very into the fact, the daredevil nature of how you paint things, especially with the eye. It's the several approaches of the eye. You went, like, I would say, definitely above and beyond with it, because you put so much dedication behind it. You don't overdo it, but you still sit there and you're very careful about the detail you put into, like, the shine of the eyeball or the iris, and you're just like, okay, just very carefully, my cousins, you know. And you just the Bob Ross of airbrushing. You're like, all right, my cousins, now I'm gonna paint a tree inside this eye. It's our little secret now, you know. And just everyone's like, what? And then they see the tree and you're like, holy crap, how, you know.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I do try to pour as much energy as I can into it.
I can just see it pretty soon. Pretty soon you'll have like a guest on there, and they'll be painting like a ocean or whatnot. But no. Now I'm thinking of Bob Ross here. So yeah, it's like I can also remember it was like what is it, that gentleman there who worked in his garage there, the clowns that you worked on.
Yeah.
And I remember those, and it was like so unique because they're just like, you're like, wait a minute, what the hell? And so you look at him, you're like, these are just clown. And then the more you paint him, you're like, holy shit, those are awesome.
Yeah, and those were actually, I think, the only giveaway that maybe I've ever won on Twitch. It was just another miniature painter that was doing a giveaway with, like, whether you were in his stream or not, or all you had to be was a follower. And one day I got a message saying that I had won. I was like, oh, cool.
You just sitting there minding your own business, just playing some cards, and then you look over to your right and you're like, hey, want some clouds? You're like, cool. Yeah, they were really well done though afterwards. They were just, you know, like detail behind them, and you just You took a simple, humble rodeo clown and you made him a beautiful princess.
Yeah, those were fun.
Yeah, because you can see on my stream here, I'm mostly just showing the Instagram because like I felt like that was like perfect too. If you guys want to catch CousinNiceguy, by the way, and catch all of his latest works that he submits on there, it's Instagram at CousinNiceguy. He shows a lot of his different sides of his life, such as some of his airsoft tanks. I said airsoft, didn't I? Yep, I did. I'm tired, but yeah, it's one thing to ask about painting, but also, as you were saying earlier, you were part of, you know, the gaming side originally. You were kind of trying to, you know, just have some fun with that. What is your overall favorite game of all time?
Oh yeah. I don't know if that's, it's I don't know, that might be harder of a question to answer than like what's your favorite movie even, it's like, so because the way that technology has changed throughout the history of video games compared to something like a movie, it's so, it's like it's almost like I have a favorite game within each era of gaming. But I think I would really, like right now I'm playing Dark Souls, and that's kind of my favorite at the moment. But I think Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil, would probably have to be, like, if I had to pick one game, just because of the impact that it had on me when I played it. Yeah, I don't know. It was just so original, and it was so, like, at the time, the next era of, of gaming and everything, and it was, yeah, it was just totally blew me away at the time. So yeah, I'd probably say Resident Evil, the original.
Yeah, because was it Resident Evil alone? I think it took the formula that Alone in the Dark had. You know how it originally set that survival horror nature to it, or the adventure game survival kind of elements, and they took it and they made it much more intense than Alone in the Dark did. I mean, Alone in the Dark was a little bit intense. You had your zombies, your clowns, or your dolls on chairs and all that, but then Resident Evil is like, hey, we're gonna throw everything at you. Like, what? And then the dog comes crashing through the window, which I think is the most iconic thing of all time for most people.
Right. That scared the crap out of me. And then it was just like little things like the doors were the loading screens, stuff like that. That was just very innovative about the game too. Little things here and there that.
Yeah.
It was just a real masterpiece. Yeah.
So it was sort of, at the time, and even now, a lot of people look back at that and comes to a standard, and it's like that's the highest standard I think you could probably set for a survival game, next to Minecraft, or even I'm not gonna say Rust because I'd be slapping myself across the face there, but
yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yep. Flopping things, but yeah, Conan I think would definitely be, if I were to substitute that Rust comment there I made to Conan. Conan's definitely the next standard too. It's currently being developed by Funcom, and I mean my computer can't run it too well, but I gotta admit that physics and those are pretty nice. Insert sexual organ you want there, that's, but yeah,
it's there.
Yeah, it's like it's there for your imagination to walk across. Just go.
Yeah, it doesn't leave much to the imagination.
Just leave a faint skin tone you're choosing there too. Just pick and choose and what their crime was, and that's pretty much your starter character there. So yeah, it was definitely a game I can't run though. I tried running it just almost bricked my computer. So yeah, I mean, it was favorites in terms of games though. It's definitely, I would agree with you too. It was one of those time frames. I would go with Resident Evil as well. Around that time, I was also playing, what the heck was it? I'm trying to think. It wasn't Legend of Zelda, but I'd say my favorite from that time frame, like with Resident Evil when around that time coming out, was a mixture between Tomb Raider, which nowadays I'm bad at the game. It's pretty funny to watch me play that one. It's like I just I don't understand what it is about me in that game. I try playing it and I just go blank entirely. But it was that one and Spyro around that time frame.
Okay, yeah. No, my friend, a good friend of mine, was the Tomb Raider. That was his favorite, and yeah, that's. I was never any. I don't know if I like puzzles. I'm horrible at puzzles. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, with me and puzzles, like I played games like was it Castle of Dr. Brain and all that. And, I can do that fine. There's certain math ones I screw up with. It's forget about it. Just you might as well throw in the towel.
Yeah, I mean, because even like the puzzles in Resident Evil, for example, aren't too harsh. You pretty much figure them out after not too much effort. But yeah, I remember Tomb Raider was like, okay, this is
very vague. It was like, what the hell am I
right.
doing?
But a great game though. Yeah.
Especially the Anniversary Edition one they came out with a little bit later on. That one was actually surprisingly well done, but the controls aren't very good on PC though.
Oh, right.
Like, I think it was it the did I play? Was it a 360? Yeah, it was 360. I think it was. I tried it on. I was like, oh, and then I played on the PC. I was like, oh, but so as you've pretty much accomplished, I would say, a goal you kind of wanted to do with your stream. You wanted to try to expand yourself into 2 different categories and 3 different categories. Being your creative side and being your gaming side, and just generally being a team player. I think, as far as I'm concerned, you're the most supportive person probably on Twitch alone. And it's, to me, what is your perspective of the Twitch community as a whole now? Like, I probably would say between the creative community and the gaming community.
Yeah, it's gotten so huge. One thing about it, excuse me, is that I'll get a drink of water. Twitch, it's like when you're streaming every day, or you're on Twitch every day, you don't really notice it as much, but Twitch changes and moves so quickly, like a train just hauling ass, and if you aren't careful, it'll just leave you behind in some ways, I feel, so it's like, I do like the excitement of that, like the fact that you just never know exactly what's going to be happening from week to week, but there are, of course, like more stable areas too, like people that are always going to be streaming, and you can always hang out in their streams. But I've met some really great people and true friends here on Twitch since I've been here, and I guess that was something that was maybe a little bit unexpected. I expected to meet friends, but not really, really good friends like I've met. And yeah, of course there's a certain culture on Twitch, on the internet in general, of trolling, or some of it's more malicious than others, obviously. And
yeah,
for someone of my generation, it did take a little while to get used to that element, just because frankly, I didn't even really grow up with the internet, so that portion of it did take me a while. But now, yeah, it doesn't even bother me. It's the whole package. I really just love Twitch so much. I don't think I think all the changes that they make are usually for the good and in the right direction.
Yeah, with characters like Grendler and Retro, and even gaming side such as Mr. JOTD and whatnot. It's to me, it's like I've seen. Like, I cannot speak so much for Grendler. You've known Grendler a hell of a lot longer than I have, and you've seen him from start to now. I've mostly just seen his more recent stuff, which is really awesome, to be honest with you, which is like, holy crap. And then people say he's like the master class, like they ain't exaggerating. Yeah.
No, yes, yeah, exactly.
He takes a lot of effort behind the community. He pretty much, he'll sit there and he'll talk to them, and, makes them feel welcome like you do, and many others out there like Flickster, who they'll stop Like they'll literally stop what they're doing real quick and they go, all right, what does someone say? And then they'll, you know, they just talk to that person, have a conversation as they're painting, or if they're playing a video game, they'll stop the game and go, hey, yeah, or, you know, they'll have a conversation with like 3 different people at once, and it's insane. You're like, holy crap, you know. And they're amazing. These guys are just going like Rambo, infinite bullets. And so
Right. It's a really interesting mixture because, you know, at one point, YouTubers basically started migrating over here to Twitch and in all aspects of it, not just creative, but, and it seems like, you know, there's been an adjustment when a YouTuber comes over, more of a popular YouTuber or something. It's like they can't really do things the same way they were doing it on YouTube because there's a live audience there, and so it's interesting to have seen like the evolve, like these streams evolve, you know, having to, you know, stop and give tutorials, or, you know, hype their stream, or be more chill at times, or, you know, so it's, yeah, it, it's just interesting. Yeah, I find it all to be really interesting.
yeah, because what was it? It was some guy that came over here. I think it. Who the heck was it? There was some one person that came here very recently. It was Pete Dorr. Pete Dorr. Let's just be honest. I'm not being mean to him, but like the dude is so mellow. He makes me look like I'm on fucking sugar 24/7. Like he makes me looks me or you look like we're crazy men drinking 10 gallons of Red Bull. Like this guy's the most mellow dude you ever heard in your life. And like I kid you not, I fell asleep one time watching one of his videos. He was talking about some haul he got, and I was gone. Like I was just out. And so I watch him on stream, and I'm like, nope, you're not doing this to me again, Pete. Nope, nope. Sorry, buddy. You know, I just had to leave really quickly because I was getting tired. And I was like, no, no. And so then you have a couple other guys come up on here. I think it was Total Biscuit. He came up on Twitch, and he's just, he's so, you hear how brash he is on YouTube, then you hear him on here. He's very quiet. He's like, yeah, I'm Total Biscuit. Yeah, yeah.
Right,
you know?
right.
And he talks like that. He goes, yeah. You know, he's just like, is he gonna bust out a rap? What is he doing? You know. And so, I notice a fluctuation of more people come in for the style of streamers that these guys are. So you got a lot more collectors coming over to Twitch. That, you know, like Retro and myself and even you and a few others who, you know, we've collected a few things over the years, and so now we notice these things with these streamers. So Retro is like he's like the, I call him the forefather of collectors, because this man will notice something in your background you forgot about, and you're like, hey, isn't that a vintage 1988 belt buckle? And you're like, what? And you look over like, oh shit, it is. And so you stop what you're doing. You're like, oh yeah, it is a belt buckle. You know, yeah, I got 10 of those in my drawer. That legendary belt buckle. So, so yeah, it's just like you notice this, and it's awesome. And the same thing with a lot of Kingdom Death, right? Like Kingdom Death, the MIDI community on that exploded. Ever since like a few folks introduced it to the community, I've noticed I didn't hear a word about it. I didn't see anything about it. Then a few people mention it, and it's like all these new creative streams like blossomed.
Yeah.
So it's awesome, because then you see this tidal wave of introduction, like just innovation. So you see like someone kind of starts the ball rolling, and then they roll to somebody else. The ball then rolls to somebody else, and so you see that, especially with Dark Souls, or even I call it fad gaming a little bit, because it's sort of like people go, oh yeah, that looks fun, and so then it just moves on from there. So a lot of people's interests involved. They go, yeah, let me try this one out. So they try out games like I'll even use Rust or Conan and whatnot, and it usually translates pretty well, because you see people with Dark Souls, or Demon Souls, which when I watch people play Demon Souls, it's like delightful. I'm just like, oh, look at them go. You know, I get excited because like I'm like, I remember when I first played this one. And so, so I just sit back very slowly in my chair and just look on, going, that ball's coming up for CousinNiceguy. I see it. It's coming up. I'm not going to say a damn word. I'm going to sit back. Yep, there it comes. Boom.
Well, I'm happy to say that I did beat that game recently, and I only lost between 4 and 5 soul levels to King a lot. And I beat him on my second try, actually, too.
Yeah, that fight's a little like a little brutal.
That's like, wow, you guys are not messing around here. It really, I had to really just like build up the nerve to go back for that second fight, and yeah, thankfully, but yeah, I was sweating it right down to the last of it.
So when are we gonna see our cousin here start up some Dark Souls on stream?
Well, yeah, I've actually started it off stream already a little bit, just because, we talk about the internet and Twitch. Dark Souls, I think, is just one of those games where inevitably somebody is going to show up, and I don't mean to cast like a negative light, but it's like they're going to show up and they're going to start giving you hints, and then before you know it, they're going to sort of be telling you how to play the game. So I just wanted to get started a little bit with Dark Souls before before those people start coming in. And
the would you what the heck could they call it? They called it it was a backseat gamer, but then there's the other term for it.
It's like they're not quite backseat gaming, but
they're holding your hand basically. Then it's like you don't need, like a game like Dark Souls. You're like, please take your hand away from my hand. Unless we're on a date here, take your hands away from me.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, I just wanted, and that was happening with Demon Souls. That's why I finished that off stream. But
you're like, the hell with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's like I was playing, was it Bloodborne, and mind you, I've completed Bloodborne prior. I just completed it, and so everyone was like dropping hints on me, and I was like stopping what I was doing, and I look over towards my camera, going, "Look, I already know what to do. You need to explain it to me. I'm going through this the way I want to, and just."
Mm-hmm. No, those games almost have to be played first time, like off stream, and then go stream them on your second or third try, just so you can say, "Look, yeah, I've already played through it. Thank you. Thanks, but no thanks."
Hey, doing it, Cow too. Welcome. So speaking of streaming though and all that nature, what is your favorite streamers or just general streamers?
Oh, wow. Well, I've been, like we spoke about Grendler. Of course, Grendler would have to be on that list, just because I wouldn't be painting miniatures if I'd never found his stream. And let's see, recently I kind of like a real mix of streamers. Really, get some more water.
It's Boshy time.
Percy Havoc, for example, a newer streamer that we found. There's a freestyle rapper named the Real Shook One. Then there's, of course, like I like to watch right now. Watching every minute I can of GDQ. A lot of speedrunners I like to watch occasionally, like Spike Vegeta, for example. But yeah, and then I like a real mix of Twitch. Like I love going and looking and finding new streams and new things, and just like things I've never seen before, or never thought that somebody would try to broadcast. So, but yeah, it's a real mix. Your stream, of course. I mean, your stream all the time, Danny. So yeah, you're on that list. But and Retro, I love Retro's streams, even though he doesn't do them that often.
Yeah, Retro. We're putting you on the spot, buddy.
No, he's busy. He's got a whole plan that he's working on, but yeah.
That plan is... It's like Da Vinci's Code. He has to crack it himself. He's like...
No, I can respect... I've always been one of those people that just jump in the deep end, so I can respect somebody that actually takes their time and crafts something before just jumping right into it.
He's making a delicious lager as we speak. He's still going at it, seeping them hops.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Percy is definitely out of a good lot of us. I gotta say, that man, he is like a wrestler that does hardcore wrestling right off the bat as his career choice. instantly just grabs the spiked bat and starts beating himself over the head with it, but then just keeps going. This
Right.
constantly
Yes.
reinventing things he does and makes it better and better. Especially the James and Meowth he did with the James Plays Pokemon or Pocket Monsters Red and Blue. It's like he goes completely into the improv characterization of James. Like he plays as that character particularly, and so he builds a story off that character as he's streaming. So it's like he's theory building with that. And then you have him.
And you know, and just real quick, you know, that kind of speaks a lot to, I think all of my favorite streamers really have this commonality of they're really engrossed in their streams and don't really hold much back and really are very dedicated and like just not only to their streams but just to like Twitch and Twitch culture and everything that goes along with it. You know, it's like I'm here because I love Twitch and I'm having a good time and you know, yeah, sure, there's nothing wrong with trying to monetize it all, but or if maybe that's what brings somebody here in the first place. But as long as they're, you know, like fully dedicated and having fun, then
Exactly. I mean, if they make a few bucks in their pocket too, it's not too harmful. Because again, it's just like it's like someone playing guitar on the side of the road or on a, you know, a walkway as you're going through like a busy city street. They're kind of just playing like a bass guitar or playing the guitar, drums, little drum kit, and it's like they're performing for their own enjoyment. At the same time, they're performing, you know, just to perform, and people like what they're seeing. They chip in like a couple bucks in their hat or their bucket or whatever, and they
yeah,
so it's, if anything, it's harmless. Like definitely for the community stream when it comes to creative, like I could see 110% every single person who sets up shop on that walkway always usually roughly has something that's usually, you know, chip in worthy, like, you know, just, you know, that's performance art if anything else.
right,
Especially with miniatures and even some folks who actually play guitar and stream. Like I've seen someone play that was it Rock Band, not Rock Band, Rocksmith.
Smith, yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah, French Stallion probably. Yeah, he's another really great streamer that I've watched for a long time.
you know, he goes right into it too. He gets right into it. He's like, yeah, you know, he just gets right into it. Starts doing it, and you're like, that man is a Greek god.
Yeah, you know, yeah, like him, Yankee, Umro Yankee. They're both just like they just give themselves completely to, you know, they hold nothing back. Like what is it, like, you know, dancers, they say, you know, you have to go out there and leave everything on the dance floor. You can't hold anything back. And yeah, it's like they those dudes do that, man. It's really cool. It's really entertaining.
Yeah, and it's like Yankee, he's like insane. Like that man is insane. He does like that torture thing he does when he screws up in a game or something like that, or someone spins the wheel and he ends up getting, you know, a torture thing, which, you know, it's obviously just harmless, light little bop off the head or whatever, and he oversells it. But
Him and producer.
the producer, you know, and he bows and he gets his ass whooped. I'm like, what the fuck? Lose my shit at it. And just...
The first time I saw that stream, so that's the thing, you know, it's like the first time you see these streams.
Culture shock
like,
from hell.
what is this? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like the production of that guy alone is like, holy shit. Like, it's between him and Percy, like the two, I could definitely say off the top of my head that just they put so much production behind it, and it's I mean, granted, Yankee, I believe he's, what is it? He's the representative of Japan. Was it XSplit?
Split, yeah.
But it's like the dude is just, you can see he just, so much production. It's ridiculous. Like my room would probably melt because of the heat of all the equipment he's probably using in that room he's in.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It's like my electric bill would not be able to. I'd be starting to do like Twitch donations, like, please, I gotta literally keep the lights on right here. No, but
no, and you bring up another really good point too. You know, it's like that's some of the things that people don't necessarily see if they're not a streamer is, you know, something like Yankee having to have all those lights in his face every time he streams and having to adjust to almost being blinded by a million lights all over him, or God knows what else he's got going on there, and then he has
Yeah.
to get on the bike, and yeah, I mean, it's just such dedication that
Yeah, it's like a suntan from the
much
freaking
respect.
lights.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's like you can see the lights he's using too. Like I think it was he was doing behind the scenes thing before. Like he was kind of toggling between the cameras, and you see it. You see these like crazy studio lights. You see these like umbrellas and everything like that. You see the was it the light reduction filters he has on the mic. The thing is, you look at this stuff, and I know a couple of those things firsthand because I used to do this in school. Those half of those lights, they cook you basically. If you get too close to them, you're gonna start cooking.
Yikes.
So I
And then
mean,
he's riding the bike and doing the shake weight right next to
yeah, he's like shaking it, and I'm losing my shit. And he's doing like sit-ups and everything. I'm like, this man is like a masochist at this point. Like this is ridiculous. But same time, if I would have thought of it before him, I would totally do the bike thing. That's actually nice. That's a clever idea. You're sitting on your ass anyway. You might as well work the legs. Keep it going.
Right.
But holy crap, that man is a gem. Just he has like the most pristine probably legs in the world at the moment after because of that bike. But yeah. Like he makes Jenner there go, I need to take notes from him. So we worked through the questions here. Now, anyone in the comments or in the chat or even on Discord, if you have any questions for Cousin Nice Guy, by the way, just be sure to ask. Be sure it's something related to his stream only, please. We're not here to, look up dirty laundry like, so, what's your future cat? We don't need to know that. So, yeah, I got a couple articles here. I thought they were just, to me, they were hilarious. But one of them I'm going to throw at you here is the Sims community is currently fighting about laundry in the game. Laundry. So, all right. So I tried to look up what the hell they're talking about this laundry thing. I guess they're supposedly adding this in as like some sort of microtransaction or something like that. So people were, I don't know. It's like,
wow.
yeah, it's like this was random topic I've ever saw in my life. People fighting over laundry of their virtual characters about doing them or whatever, and I read that and I was like, what the fuck? I've heard about people getting mad at Phil Fish there for the guy who did Fez. There are some people getting mad at him about something, but over laundry,
Yeah, wow. Jeez.
Let's see. I got a question here from Retro. Would Cousin Nice Guy consider doing a t-shirt airbrushing on stream? Would it work? Could ever be a thing. I've never seen anyone do that for real. And could Cousin Nice Guy chat a little about this, his experience in this? Is it harder to airbrush onto fabric?
Right. Before I answer that question, this is going to be kind of a total off-topic tangent, real quick question, because I have a question for Retro actually, and I've been forgetting to ask him this question, but I want to know if Retro wants to cap his own. He has a bunch of retro equipment that he has to send off to be capped, and I think he said he had some equipment, and I wouldn't mind doing a stream that does a tutorial for how to do a recap, because I have an old Atari pinball machine that I've come across that needs to be taken apart. I'm sure every capacitor has to be replaced in it. But anyways, like I say, that was just a quick question back at Retro. The t-shirts, yes, I could. I have my external air tank, and I could fill that up and get about an hour's worth of air out of that, and take that outside and do it by the pool. Now, one thing about airbrushing t-shirts is you do have to have some really good ventilation because you're spraying a lot more paint. And in fact, I'd be using completely different airbrushes. I have, oh geez, I think I have 3 still, because I used to paint a lot of t-shirts. I have 3 of they're siphon feed airbrushes rather than a gravity feed, and that simply refers to the way that the paint is brought into the gun. If the cup is on top of the gun, then the paint falls down into the gun using gravity. But these because you are using kind of bigger tubes of paint, bigger like jars, you stick them up into and you can quickly change colors if you need to. So it's a whole different kind of airbrushing, really, and you're using like a lot more psi because you really want to blast the paint into the fabric. But yes, it's something I think that has been mentioned before, and yeah, I guess it sort of slipped my mind, but yeah, especially I think it'd be something kind of fun to do outside by the pool. Sounds like it'd be a really good stream.
So Retro saying, "Oh my God, cousin, yes, please, I would."
On the caps, okay, cool. And that does remind me, yes, I've always had to fight the urge to be a jack of all trades and master of none. I just can't stop dabbling in things, electronics, art, video games, movie, you know, whatever it is. I have to dabble into it, but no. I'm trying to become more focused with my stream these days, though, just because Twitch is so big that I think people really expect a little bit more consistency than I've been kind of giving. You know, in the first year of my stream, I was just kind of doing anything I wanted to do, games, creative, this, that, the other thing. But yeah, I think I would like to maybe focus it down more to mainly creative type stuff.
Yeah, sort of like the terminology, what the heck's it called? I always forget it. See, now it's the guy that wanders around, the wanderer, not the wanderer, but the guy, the hermit, not the hermit. No, what the heck is it called? It's something else. It starts with a M. Basically, he wanders to different towns before he settles down on one, and so, okay, it is a wanderer. Then it'll be a wanderer. Nomad. That
right. Yeah. Yes. Exactly. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because like eventually it's the same thing with people on YouTube. Like, believe it or not, I mean, some people just like instant overnight successes. Like they just have something they do, and instantly everyone's like, "Oh my God, look at that!" You know. But then there's other people who, you know, they kind of find that thing they're exceptionally good at, like just exceptionally good, and they settle on it. And so I've found with certain streamers, they have like one type of game they play and they stick to it. Like Man vs. Game, he just that man just focuses on completing games 100%. You know, that's all he does. And so what was it, Sour Kool-Aid Show, that guy is kind of more variety than he is anything else, but he's sort of like the jack of all trades as yourself, but he mostly focuses on comedy. With your stream, I noticed you kind of mellowed down to, you know, miniatures, like a more of a single approach. And that's like been paying off anything else. Like I've been seeing you've been feeling more confident. You're like, yeah, let's do this, you know, and you're painting them, you're painting it. Everyone's like, what's that? And you're like, I'm making this miniature my bitch. This is what this is, you know, and you just start painting. No, but you know, and then the fact that you're also getting commissions is excellent too. It's like you're doing the I was called a Sentinel at first. It's the robot you did there for Moosey.
Oh right, yeah, the Titan. And I was noticing you gotten so much traffic from that because it was like just insane. Like I was like, holy shit, this thing was huge, mind you. If everyone has not seen the Titan, this thing is freaking huge. Like it's about the size of your average 12-inch, you know, action figure you'd get from the store or something. It's quite a big thing. Yeah.
And he did it in a certain way, like kind of like a Harley Quinn style with the black and white. And the way he was doing it was so much intricate detail behind this figurine. It was ridiculous. So the miniature, I can't really call it a miniature. The thing's massive as hell. Like,
I know, right?
And so Moose is explaining the rules of that thing. He's like, "Oh yeah, it costs a lot to cash it on." I was like, "I can imagine." Oh shit! I would be terrified if someone brought that on the table to myself. Like, I'm done. Nope.
Yeah, and that thing actually turned out to be quite a bit of fun. It was really good.
Yeah, because it was like definitely a conversation starter too. Like people would look at that thing, go, "That thing looks fucking cool." So everyone would just be like talking about it, and it helped spark conversation. I thought it was wonderful because even I was interested in that thing. It's like I just want the damn thing myself. That thing looks awesome. You know, I want that on my shelf. But so apparently Xbox One users are going to be getting be able to gift digital purchases. Tongue tied there for a second. My throat's dry. Purchases in the near future. Now, the question to you is, how would you feel if they added an option for Twitch that allowed users to gift streamers like games and whatnot for like Xbox Live or PS4 or Steam directly from? I mean, I think they have like a store you could purchase things through the game, the the Twitch site already. But what if they were able to allow people to get vouchers, or the streamers can, to be able to play said games on Twitch?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I think it sounds like a good thing to me, actually. I kind of been realizing especially with all these changes they've been making lately with Twitch, I think anything that encourages, like when I say changes, I guess I really mean specifically like the fact that you can, be playing a game and then someone can come in to your stream, and if they get sort of inspired to play that game or buy something from that game, they can do it, and you get a little cut of the profit. Things like that like encourage people to play a certain game or to treat their stream a little bit more seriously. I think like in the end of the day, it's like a really good thing.
Yeah, like I've noticed since Amazon required it, they kind of turned it more into like I'm not gonna say a storefront because it obviously isn't, but it feels like it's an interactive store. Actually, yeah, it is, isn't it? It's sort of like an interactive storefront where it's an interesting blend of an idea because I'm actually very curious now if in the future for creative, if Twitch is going to integrate something for the creative side where if a streamer's using a specific blend or a specific paint, if they're able to implement it into like a checklist thing where they have like just options of all these different brands, they can pinpoint the exact paints that they're using. So if someone wants to use that paint that they're seeing being used, they can go on Amazon and buy it or something like that, or go to like a craft website.
Yeah, no, I think if companies are smart, they'll jump on Twitch as soon as they possibly can, because some of these bigger streamers, especially, if you have a streamer that has like 1,000 people or more watching them, and say they're doing a painting of some kind and they're doing a really great job, that speaks like just so much to the quality of the paint that they're using, or whatever it is. But it's like, more so than just a streamer getting on and saying, okay, you know what, this paint is great, but maybe they're doing something else. They're not painting with it. They're, I don't know, doing an IRL stream or something, but they're talking about how great this paint is. It doesn't have the same impact as them actually sitting there painting with it, and talking about how great the paint is and how much they recommend it. I mean, that to me is like just pure uh, advertising power, like that you can't really get, like just on a regular ad that you watch on a VOD or something like that. So yeah, I think if companies are smart, they'll jump on this opportunity.
Yeah, it's to me, it's like it's easy marketing. Like it's absolutely easy marketing because you got so many streamers on here alone who basically could just they can use it, and they can use it exceptionally well, mind you. Like they're pretty much like the Nolan Ryan of painters, or
Yeah,
even
yeah,
or using headsets or whatever. And I mean, I've already seen companies already promote streamers already. That's not not a
right.
new trick, but like paint companies or even companies like vaping community or whatever, because I see
Yeah,
people who vape on here and they're like using these crazy contraptions for vaping pens or whatever, and it's like, what the hell is that thing? Mind you, I don't do any of that myself, but it's
No,
like,
but yeah, their communities trust them, and they would take their recommendations very seriously. Yeah, you know,
yeah.
yeah, on any number of products. Yeah.
So
So yeah.
it's, to me, like, I would honestly be all open armed about that idea. It's like they should have an integration with that at some point in the future, like very soon, because I always see it in the chat, and this is always the thing I've noticed, is that every single time someone paints, they always ask that question, what kind of paint are you using? What kind of paint you're using? So they want to get an idea of what they're using. And if it's like something they can afford, obviously, they just go, all right, I'm grabbing this shit right now. Because obviously, if you're in that type of that hobby, you got enough money in your pocket to buy a couple paints. So, you know,
Right.
again, it helps out. Yeah.
And it's like you say with, you know, some companies are sponsoring streamers and stuff, but it's almost like I think I'm when I think about it, it's almost like I think about those old timey radio shows where they would stop like in the middle and they would have, you know, like the host would actually pick up a product and sit there and do the commercial for the product right there in the middle of the show. Like, I mean, honestly, like, you know, if you're sitting there painting something on stream, yeah, and like you say, you know, you could have an option below your stream where you could go right to, say, the Vallejo's website and buy some kind of a paint set that streamer is using, or a vape kit that streamer is using, or whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like product placement, but it's not. It's like coming from a trusted source, so it's a whole. I think it's a whole new sort of area.
Yeah,
But
it's like the QBC, or the like, you know, those commercial televised programs where people are like, "Well, we have a caller in right now, Susan. How you doing, Susan?" And then Susan's like, "Hi, I bought your kettle, and it exploded in my face." You know,
yeah,
you're like, "What the hell?"
the old testimonial.
Oh God, there was one of them that was really funny. Like something to do with my cat choked on this ring, and it cut her off instantly. And I was laughing my ass off because it was like, what? Because it was like late at night. I'm like half awake. I'm laying in my bed. Mind you, this is where we had like really, really basic cable. Enough to, it's like those type of shows knock me out, like those QBC ones. So I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fall asleep to this. So I'm like half out of it, and I woke up instantly as soon as I heard the woman's voice get cut off instantaneously. So I ordered this ring, and then the guy's like, yeah. You know, he's kind of showing it off with his hands and all that. You know, cut to his hands. And then as soon as the woman goes, so my cat choked on this, and then his hand shook a little bit, and, and then he cut it off really fast. And I was like, then the guy changed the subject really quickly. He's like, so yeah, this is 24 carats. And it's like, what the hell? Like, I can only picture out paints. No. So my cat choked on this paint. It's like, how the hell did that cat swallow the whole damn vial of friggin' paint? How? You know, but that's a lot of paint. So yeah, like especially at Grendler alone, like that man mentioned something about paint. I get interested in it. Same thing with you. You mentioned something about a paint. I get interested in it. I'm like, I want to use that. And hell, you got Kelly to feel inspired enough to buy some stuff too. Believe it or not, like she saw you painting, she loved what you were doing, she got hooked to it. She's like, I want to do this too, you know. And we know she can paint, but so she's like, I'm gonna go get this stuff. So she went and got some miniatures, and like, see, that right there was like free promotion. Like, Niceguy could have made $10 right now
Right, yeah.
from promotion revenues at this rate. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it right there. I mean, if Twitch wants to keep this bandwagon going with promoting things, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, it doesn't cut into the programming itself, because like everybody who's doing creative or doing gaming, they're doing this stuff as per usual in their stream. It's flowing with the stream. So if they want to keep costs down on the actual productions and all that, and want to make sure these streamers get paid and everything, just, you know, just offer options like that. I mean, hell, I don't think any of the streamers are gonna mind. The same thing with the consumers or the folks who are watching. They mostly come in here to get inspired to buy, or just simply watch someone play a game or paint.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
There's nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with marketing a product as long as like you believe in the product. You know, it's like
Yeah.
if you're if you're sitting there selling used cars that are going to break down the month later, then that's one thing. But yeah, if you believe in the product and it's a good product.
Yeah, it's something that if you see the streamer always using it all the time, eventually you're gonna have people asking questions about it. So you usually do. So then you answer the question. You mention your technique with it, or you mention how many coats you use with it. You know, like 3 or 4 or whatever. As an example, and so you basically you emphasize your enjoyment of using it. I mean, it's just same thing with people who play video games. Somebody goes, see, even the dog agrees.
Yeah, I think she's agreeing with.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yes. The dog agrees. The dog has spoken.
She wanted to be on this.
Improv. So Retro saying, I know it is red paint, but I get informed that it's on stream it's crimson. Well, that's true. It's usually a crimson 92.5. They usually like to really slam it home with the crimson. Yeah, those are like the best streams. Like, I kid you not, like I always get like a really geekily enjoyment out of it because at the same time I'm learning something about the color, the tones, and everything. And so whenever these streamers are smooth talking it, they're like, "Yeah, man, I'm really feeling the vibe of this yellow tangerine." I'm like, "What the fuck?" They're like telling me a color I never heard before in my life. I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And they're like, I'm looking at it. To me, it looks like at first a regular yellow, and the way they describe, I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm seeing colors I never saw before." Oh my god, And so, can you ask Niceguy if he'd ever like to do an April Fool's stream next year where he calls colors by regular names, LE blue, red, and yellow?
That's a good idea. I'll have to try and remember that.
And the OCD of streamers be looking at his stream going, "Motherfucker, that's goddamn yellow 92. What are you doing?" "I see you over there." Pointing at the screens.
Veins. This better be April Fool's joke.
Think this is a game? Oh boy. That did it for me. I'm spent. Man, all those emails on my phone. So, alright. That's, I think, we're going to call it for the stream for this evening, for this interview.
Right on.
I believe CousinNiceguy has a stream planned up ahead of us this evening for some tabletop goodness through the simulator that is called Tabletop Simulator, and I believe you're doing some Dark Souls.
I think so, yes.
So
I'm gonna kind of play it by ear a little bit, but yes, I think so.
The best kind of tabletop is improv tabletop. So, all right, everyone. You've tuned into the very first stream, which is involving the DanVanDam and Friends Livecast. I'm trying to do this as daily as possible, like every other week or so. I'll try to invite somebody on and have a chinwag with them and try to get to know them. And a lot of those who do not know these said personalities get to know them a little bit more. I'd like to thank everyone in the chat this evening, as well as CousinNiceguy for attending this evening. It was a pleasure being able to chat with you.
Thank you for having me.
No worries, no worries. It is my I feel the privilege here to this evening. So, thanks, cousins. Awesome chat show.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll catch you all next time.
All right, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and paint this stream red with a little bit of blue and call it good. So take it easy and see you all tomorrow.
Bye-bye.